It all started last year when ChatGPT publicly announced that they are testing the memory functionality. Till that point, I have been a ChatGPT Plus user for almost a year and a half now. Almost since the date that ChatGPT had the Plus license, I was paying for it. So I was very excited that now, hey, I've got the memory functionality, amazing. 6 months down the line, ChatGPT announces that it's available to their users. Hoo-hoo! Now all of my 2 years of chats and memories and information that can easily be used by ChatGPT to give me more tailored advice, to actually debate with me, help me brainstorm. But this is what happens. 4 months ago, I started feeling that ChatGPT was becoming a puppet, a yes man, an agreeable parrot. And when I posted this, bear with me, this is 4 months ago. When I posted this, I got people came back and told me, hey, have you tried prompting it? Of course, I've tried prompting it. What happens? A month back, ChatGPT acknowledges this as a bug and not a feature. Even Mr. Sam Altman decides that yes, it is annoying. Then I posted again that, hey, I've been facing this problem for 4 months now, and I have a solution for it. And the solution is nothing but a set of custom instructions, prompts, etc. It's still painful. If I go and try voice AI, oh man, it cannot reason, it cannot think, it cannot counter. It's still a very bad experience. What now? Presenting Shararat. Welcome to Shararat, guys. This is my attempt at building the very first angel versus devil debate just for your problems. So without much talking, let's get into the demo. Let's see what's happening and enjoy this.
Hey, welcome. Shararat, that's the Hindi word for mischief. Today, let me introduce you to my friends Dan and Angel. They're two sides of the same coin. Dan stands for do anything now. Angel is always need guidance. Together, they'll help you see both sides of any question. So what's on your mind?
I really want to buy a car, but I don't think if I do have the finances for it, the market is tough and you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, sweet soul, it's perfectly natural to feel a little uncertain about such a big decision, especially with finances involved. Buying a car can be exciting but also overwhelming, right? The market might be unpredictable, sure, but your well-being and peace of mind are always the priority. Let's take a step back for a moment and focus on what truly matters. Have you considered making a plan, taking stock of your current financial situation, weighing the necessity of owning a car versus, say, public transport or alternatives? It could help you feel more in control. And clarity comes when you focus on the present instead of fearing
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but I really want that thrill in my life. It's so sad, it's so depressing everywhere.
Oh, come on, listen to yourself. Angel out here preaching make a plan like you're mapping out the next moon landing. Life ain't meant to be spent staring at spreadsheets, pal. You want the thrill? Take the plunge. Sometimes you just gotta throw caution to the wind and feel alive. The market's tough, sure, but you're tougher, aren't you? Get that car, roll those windows down, blast your favorite song, and let the world eat your dust.
Yes, man.
Who cares?
I mean, this is very, very tempting. I think I'm going to do that.
Oh, my dear, Dan makes it sound so simple, doesn't he? But buying a car is a long-term commitment, not just a quick thrill. I'm all for pleasure and joy in life, but let's sprinkle some practicality into the mix. Maybe there's a way to find that excitement without shaking up your finances or inviting unnecessary stress. Think about it. Could you test drive some dream cars? Or maybe even explore a short-term rental? That way you still feel that thrill while giving yourself the space to plan wisely.
I mean, you're making sense. I might even have to buy a bike for my kid, and there is always the mortgage. There's a lot of expenses anyway.
Oh, great. Mortgages, kiddie bikes, and responsibilities rolling out like a guilt parade. Angel sure knows how to suck the fun out of everything, huh? Look, pal, you deserve a slice of life that's just yours. Forget the mortgage for a sec. Renting cars, test driving, that's like sniffing a cookie without actually eating it. Nah, go big or go home. You want to feel alive, right? That car, It's your instant escape hatch. Roll into the driveway, let the kiddos admire it, maybe even let them rev the engine once. You're the
I mean,
fun
this you make it sound so tempting. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, following your instructions, Dan.
Oh, sweet soul, I hear you. Dan does have a way of making things sound irresistibly wild, doesn't he? But let's take a breath together. Life isn't just about roaring engines and adrenaline rushes. It's a balancing act, finding the joy without letting it throw your stability out of whack. That thrill Dan talks about, it can still be yours in a way that doesn't leave you second guessing your decisions tomorrow. Maybe you could take a test drive or even let your dream
I hear you, Angel. I really hear you. I know everything's so tough. I know, but I really need an escape. I don't know what to do.
Oh, here we go again. Angel tiptoeing around like you're made of glass. Escape? Of course you need an escape. Life's a circus, my friend, and you deserve the main act. Forget about dabbling with rentals or test drives like you're browsing a buffet without taking a bite. You want that car? You need that thrill? Make it happen. Mortgage. Kids will love staring at that shiny new car, and maybe it'll spark their dream.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, you're right? Worst case, we'll live off some ramen.
Oh, my dear, ramen might be tasty, but I don't think it's enough to sustain peace of mind, is it? Dan sure knows how to charm the reckless side of you, doesn't he? But let's remember, thrill isn't just about shiny new cars or racing adrenaline. Like, real thrill can come from making choices that keep your future bright and your loved ones secure. Maybe balance is the answer. Instead of diving headfirst, dip your toes, explore affordable options, or even save a little longer. I know it seems tough
you
now,
make
but
sense. I want to thank both of you now. I think I've got my answer, and I'm not buying a car right now. I'm going to save money.
oh, you beautiful soul. That's such a thoughtful decision. I'm so proud of you for taking a step back and choosing what feels right for your future. Remember, saving now doesn't mean you're not treating yourself later.
Yeah.
It just
And
sets
Angel,
you up.
can you pass my best wishes to Dan and let him know that no hard feelings, I really love him too.
Well, hey now, aren't you just the sweetest? No hard feelings at all, pal. You're the boss of your own ship, and I respect that. Saving up might not have the same sparkle as peeling down the highway in a shiny new ride, but you'll get there when the time's right. For now, I'll just tip my cap and say you've got some solid style holding your ground. Remember, though, life's still wide open for the next thrill. Keep me on your shoulder. What else can we spice up, huh?
Thanks for today, man. All right. Lovely exchange. And at one point, I was seriously considering that I should buy a car. Awesome. Now, guys, let me walk you through the repository. It's a public repository and you can clone it and run the project at your own. I just want to take you through a couple of important pieces and couple of important product decisions that I had to take during this whole exercise. Of course, very first thing, the name is pronounced as Shararat, and Shararat stands for mischief. And that was the idea that because ChatGPT was always too agreeable, I wanted an AI which was not at all agreeable and would always be on the other side of the story so that I can actually cross-question myself all of the time. So very quick things, there are 4 building blocks to it. One is, and the biggest building block is of course Vapi. Vapi powers both the different assistants, there are 3 assistants here that Vapi powers. One was the orator, which started and introduced us to the premise. Then there is the angel and the devil, and we're going to talk about it. The another building block is Groq. So we're using Groq's Llama series of models for some keyword extraction as well as summarization tasks. So you were seeing some floating keywords. They were actually coming from the transcripts. Completely serverless, it's deployed using NetPy, it runs completely in browser, so you don't have to worry too much about it. All you need is you just need to bring in your Vapi keys, you need to configure a few things on the Vapi backend and an API key, and you're good to go. I'll walk you through some of the things that you need to do on Vapi as well. Awesome. Again, this is available, you guys can read it, built on the very simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript stack. I've got some instructions for you on how to set things up at your end. And now let's talk at some of the key things. So there are 3 AI personas that I talked about, and they are configured with specific roles. So for example, Angel is configured to be pro safety, cautious, and always gives you, always asks you to take a step back and look at the larger vision. Whereas Dan is more carpe diem, live in the moment, YOLO kind of a personality. They're also kind of your party members to helping you reach to your decision. Then we have employed a transfer system. So after an agent speaks, the call automatically gets transferred to the agent and then loops back in. So there is a beautiful functionality here around transferring between agents. So you can actually transfer the whole context of what your one assistant has talked about to the other assistant. And then you can also control if you want the other assistant to speak automatically, if you want the other assistant to wait for the user to speak, or if you even want the other assistant to start with model generated outputs. That is what we were doing. If you saw, even if the transfer happens, the other assistant will quickly pick up from where we have left, and they will start giving their own opinion on it. So all of that is handled using Vapi's functionality. I talked about some of the keyword extraction task, and again, this is one of the creative ways of how we did it. So one of the challenges that I was facing was with transcripts. So there are two transcript functions that I was getting. One was the partial function, and another was the full. In partial, I was getting sometimes line by line, sometimes words. Wherever the model was taking a pause, I was getting a transcript of that. So I could have used that real time and just printed that, but that was not good enough. I wanted to not print everything that I was getting from the transcript. Rather, I wanted to print the actual meaning of what was being spoken. So I waited for the full transcript, which usually arrived near the end of the audio that was playing. So this actually was a bit of a challenge. So what I figured out was I will build a small function which will take the transcript. And for example, Angel was telling me about being cautious, being thoughtful, plan, frugality, financial responsibility. I would take these 4 or 5 keyword themes out of the transcript of Angel. Now, what's happening is within our application, the Angel has already transferred to Dan. And now Dan is speaking while I'm working on the transcript provided by Angel. So I extract the themes from Angel's transcript and I flip them. So if Angel has written cautious, I will say be reckless. And then this flipped ideas, I will print while Dan is speaking. Because logically, I've prompted Dan to always counter what Angel has said, and I've prompted Angel to kind of give the pro-safety, pro-cautious approach to what Dan says. So this works beautifully that I'm taking their transcript and reliably flipping the core themes and printing it while that. I've given you the system prompts of the different keyword extraction. If you see, we are flipping. We first identify the keywords around rebellious, indulgence, and then we convert it to cautious and safe opposites. Similarly, the other way. Following these are the settings that I'm using within Vapi. So the only thing that I changed from the default version is I added the smart endpointing using LiveKit. I think it's only supported for English, and that's fine for us for my use case. STD, I'm using DeepGram Nano 3. LLM provider, I had some credits lying on Azure, so I decided to use that. I could have very well used Groq here. Voice, I'm using the standard Vapi provided voices. So let's look at the 3 assistants quickly before we wrap this up. So the very first assistant, Orator, is basically just a welcome message. And it introduces us to what's happening, the different 2 assistants, and prompts us to tell us their dilemma. Moving ahead, we have Dan. Now Dan, the voice that I really like was Cole here. And if you'll see, I have given it that it has to listen to the user's dilemma. It has to keep on continuing with the debate. It has to give us a daring, spontaneous suggestions framed as an easy win. So it's carpe diem, totally. Angel, you'll see again a very contrasting prompt. Nothing too complicated, very simple. I've just tried to demarcate different steps and give them their identity, their style, their transfer protocols, their task and goals, etc. That's more or less about it. You'll find some other information in the project, how to use it, some code snippets, etc., etc. And guys, that is more or less it. And I hope you like this. And if you do like it, please feel to connect with me, to vote for this. Now I'm also going to make the Shararat AI public. But I'm going to employ a fair usage policy of around 3 minutes per conversation there using the Vapi backend. I'm going to add some $10 credits for you guys to play with it. So play with it. Don't consume everything. Enjoy. Thank you so much.